Hi, it's Mike, and it's January 8th. And this is something that's come up recently several times when people call in for advice on our Notary Association hotline, which is 347-427-9091, extension 1. So when somebody asks you to notarize an unofficial document they might have created themselves, and they sign it themselves and they bring it to you, and they say they want it to be an affidavit for various reasons. Refusal to officiate or notarize can get you in trouble if they need to swear out an affidavit. It's a violation of the law called refusal to officiate. So I get this call a lot, so here's the training video. I received 2 calls in 1 week by member notaries just this last week who wanted to know what to do in this scenario where people bring them handwritten or typed letters to notarize. They want to know, A, can it be done legally? They're not sure if they're allowed to do it, and B, how to do it. So let's get into that a little more. So this is an example of the limitless possible scenarios under those circumstances. So the person brings you something they wrote themselves, and they want a sworn affidavit on it because their bank wants them to have a notary affidavit in order to have, in this case, their sister do banking on their behalf. Now, there could be thousands and thousands of different reasons people do this. People are allowed to write their own documents and sign them themselves and have it notarized. That's a Latin term called pro se, where you can practice law for yourself in New York State and all the states in the country under any circumstances for any legal matter, action, claim, or proceeding. You can always do your own legal work. Of course, everyone's going to tell you to get a lawyer, but it's easy to handwrite something and have it notarized. For example, in this case, banking, permissions. So the thing is that if somebody wants an affidavit, there's a law on the books in our notary license law that's called refusal to officiate on an affidavit, and you can be charged with official misconduct for refusing. It's a potential Class A misdemeanor, and you could have a loss or suspension of your notary license, and the person could sue you for civil damages if the person refused was damaged, like they missed a deadline. So this is an extreme example, but definitely that shows you that not only can you do it, but you should do it. But the question is, and the question remains now, how do you do it legally, right? Because they don't teach you that in the notary license law. Okay, so here's an example I made up. This is how to do it legally and to stay out of trouble. Now this will say in this example, this person typed it, but this could be handwritten. Um, and this is a permission to manage rental property and do banking, right? So my name is Sally R. Smith. I'm writing this letter to verify that I will be moving to Jamaica on February 23rd, 2024, and that I will be renting out my property at 130 Jamaica Avenue, Jamaica, Queens, New York. All right, I hereby give permission to my sister, Mary J. Johnson, to manage the property, maintain repairs, and hire and pay contractors and collect rent and deposit in my checking account on my behalf. And so now if it's going to be an affidavit, she has to sign it in your presence. So hopefully she hasn't already signed it. So anytime you're going to do an affidavit, obviously before you can notarize this, you're going to administer the oath of office and you're going to ask Sally, do you swear that the contents of this affidavit subscribed by you is correct and true, all right? And she's going to say the words I do or like meaning. And then there's 2 things you have to always put on anything you notarize. And in this case, you can handwrite it. Some notaries have stamps of these. The first thing is the venue. The venue, in this case, we're assuming the notary was in Queens, is State of New York, County of Queens. You always put the name of the county where you are with the person who's signing in front of you. That's for affidavits and acknowledgments. So don't ever forget the venue. A lot of times people leave that off and they bring you formal things to notarize, and it doesn't have a venue on there. Get used to writing it in there with a black pen to make sure you're meeting all the requirements of the statutes. Because even paralegals send you things to be notarized that are typed up that aren't properly prepared. And then you're going to put the jurat, the Jurat, which is the affidavit words. So since she already said I do or like meaning to the question, you're going to write in there, sworn to before me this 8th day of January 2024. And then you can have the notary statement of authority, also called the notary stamp, and the notary always signs on top of that. In this case, it's Raphael R. Kindra. All right, so that's how you do it. You can always pause and replay this and write these things down because I went through it kind of fast, but I know a lot of you don't have a lot of time for these refresher videos, but hopefully this straightens a lot of you out, and for those new notaries, it tells you what to do going forward. All right, so of course I'm going to cover the benefits to being licensed as a New York State Notary Public because a lot of people aren't in our newsletter and they see this on YouTube. And I'm encouraging them because every office needs notaries public working there. And I'm sure everybody who's been a notary for a long time watching this knows that's true. It creates job security where you work because you have another credential on there that's very useful in the office. And as a matter of fact, I'm seeing a surge in office managers sending their staff to our course to get more people licensed as notaries in the office. I guess there's more things to be notarized more and more every day due to bureaucracy. So it's a resume upgrade that gets you in fast for job interviews, all right? And it earns instant respect from the employer and your coworkers when you do this. I mean, after all, there is like over a 60% failure rate on the notary exam, and you get a background check, so it says you're an upstanding person. Of course, we have less than 1% of our students report failing the exam for a free repeat guarantee. And there's potential additional income opportunity if you're getting traveling fees or doing remote on notaries like Ron, which is the new course we have where you can upgrade your traditional notary license, because people who notarize online can get $25 a signature. Here's just a screenshot of a Ron software where somebody's notarizing online. And there's nothing wrong with job security, getting hired for a job ahead of all the other resumes, getting respect from your coworkers and your boss, and the potential for a little extra notary income gig. Okay, so how do you sign up for our newsletter? You can go to www.howtobecomenotaryinny.com. You can always call me, Mike, at 347-427-9091, extension 1. That's for our members to call for tips on things like these. That's how I come up with these video ideas. When I get current problems, I pop out a video for you guys. And obviously, if a few people call, there's probably hundreds of you that are wondering the same thing. So you can, at that website, join the New York State Notary Association for free and get not only these videos on YouTube, but all the other things that are in there, including discounts on supplies and other training links. You can buy supplies, notary supplies, stamps, seals, logbooks, license wall displays that says you're a notary. Put it up on your cubicle at work or at home. I call that your I Love Me wall. We have traditional notary license, which is the prerequisite to the remote online notary called RON, where you can get $25 a signature. I spoke to a lady today that has both, and she wanted to know if I upgrade to the RON, am I still allowed to do the regular traditional? Yes, you have an option when people come to you. When you upgrade to a remote online notary, you can notarize either way, and obviously a lot of people need it in person. They don't want to go online when they're right there with you. And you'll learn how to create side gig businesses with these licenses, traveling for things like loan signing and hundreds of other documents people need you to travel to them to complete. Like some notaries strike up deals with hospitals to go around notarizing for patients. I had a gentleman that called me earlier last week. He's setting up a thing to go into prisons and help all the inmates get their things notarized as a service, because in there they can go weeks waiting to get their legal documents notarized and there's no notary available. So that's it for this refresher training. If you're on YouTube, please like, share, and comment. It helps get the word out there for us, and we'll see you next time.